Hey guys, JayKrawls here. Want to do the review on the SpiderWasp egg. Finally got one of those things from that ugly SpiderWasp Queen, and so I want to do a review. I'm going to compare it to the electrical fence during this, and also I'm going to do it to the wall, the portable wall. But let's just look at the electrical fence because they both have attack options right now. So total armor and hit points goes to the electrical fence because it has just, if you can see there, it has 1,035 at R6, whereas the Spider Wasp has 950. So uh, has a little bit more hit points and armor, which makes gives it that little bit of plus there. Also, the electric fence has a little bit of dodge, whereas the Spider Queen doesn't do that, and just 5 more defense. The other good thing is, as far as immunities, they're both immune to a lot of things, which is great. But the SpiderWasp Queen wins this because it's immune to fire. So it has that one extra feature, and fire is kind of important in certain boss strikes and other things. So it is immune to taking fire damage. If we scroll down, we can see that the damage modifiers for the hit points and the armor, um, piercing, by far the electrical fence wins, hands down, for piercing. But everything else, overall, I give it to the Spider Wasp egg because overall defenses are much better. See, like 50% freeze damage, which you're going to see that in a little bit. Fire damage only takes 25% uh, to its hit points and 50% to the armor, which is amazing. 75%, 80% for piercing, crushing, resistance type thing. So depending on what you're on. Um, the damage type, they both do fire damage to the other units. As you know, the electrical fence has a chance to stun, a 75% chance to stun, whereas the spider wasp egg has a chance to do poison damage, which is nice. So let's look at these units in battle here. I want to kind of show you how they attack. You can see there it did pretty good damage um, right there. And then I'm going to take a shot with the electrical fence. Now, it's not really comparing apples to apples because my electrical fence is at rank 4, whereas the egg is only at rank 2. So it's not exactly a fair attack comparison, but you know. So you can see that the electrical fence did more damage, and that's a lot of result because of its being ranked up higher than the egg. So anyway, let's look at the stats on this guy real quick. It's going to do, like I said, fire damage, but at rank 6 it's going to do 166 to 225 damage. But with the chance of DOT damage, a 55% chance at 3 turns at 196 to 65 damage. So that's going to put, if it does the DOT damage, it's going to put it well over what you can get with the electrical fence. The offense is pretty high, 71. It will miss a lot when it's at lower ranks, but as you start to rank it up 3 and 4, you'll start to see it missing far less. Doesn't hit air units, but it'll hit soldier units and metal, anything like that. Long cooldown period of 7 rounds, just like the electrical fence. Let's look at the attack with DOT damage that you'll see here on this. Okay, you see it did 141 initial damage, but then with DOT damage here, I slowed it down so we could see it. Did another 140 damage, so that's pretty nice. All right, let's look at this egg's defenses. I asked a fellow guildsman, J-Bomb, to come on and put walls up here, and I wanted to compare all 3 of these guys and using fire damage, piercing damage, explosive damage, crushing damage, and see how they fare. We're going to start out here. I'm going to use, I believe, the salamander and do some fire damage, and let's kind of look at this together. All right, 57 for the fence, 35 for the egg, plus an extra 14 for the electrical fence because it does take fire damage at times. Anyway, so let's look at the piercing damage. We already know that the electrical fence has the advantage here. So it gets 2s, whereas the egg gets 6s and 7s. So the electrical fence wins on piercing. Still took 7 from the fire damage, though. All right, let's use the wimp as far as crushing damage. Electrical fence doesn't do anything to crushing, so it took 244, whereas the egg took 200 and something. Let's see, it does 80%, whereas you can see the electrical fence has no defenses for crushing. So that's why it took a little bit of less on that. Now let's see explosive damage. 191. Let's do the wall. 228. Now the portable walls have no defenses, no defensive modifier, so they just take straight damage. 237 for the electrical fence. So the egg did so much better. All right, what am I going to attack with next? Let's do fire again. 49 and 35, so 49 for the wall, and it's taking fire damage again. And we already know the piercing goes to the electrical fence, whereas fire goes to the eggs. And here we go with crushing again. Let's see, 210 for the egg and 250, I believe it was 250 for the electrical fence. It's hard to see unless I slow it down. Okay, let's take a shot. I should finish these off. 200 for the electrical fence. And this should wipe out the portable wall here. 188. Wow, it did better than the fence though. And the egg 154. And the egg is still the only one alive. So let's see how much health this guy has. 14 hit points. Okay, so looking at the stats, we see that this guy isn't too bad ranking up until it gets to rank 6, and it's 841,000 SP to rank up. That's when it's maxed out. But getting it up to rank 5 shouldn't be too difficult. The healing costs are a little different. It costs 5 chem vials, so that could be quite expensive if you had a bunch of eggs and it died a lot. But it's easy to get chem vials if you have someone's base you can raid, so it's not too bad. Okay, it felt like dancing, I guess. Anyway, I wanted to use freeze damage because that was another thing that the egg has a little better defenses against. So I brought the boar out, and I can't use the shot first, so I'm gonna have to play around with these other ones. Now notice the brute can only attack the portable wall, can't hit the electrical fence or the egg. Interesting, huh? But this the tank crusher does crushing damage, and you see that that the egg took less damage, only 141, whereas the electrical fence was 191. All right, you see it took 63 damage. Just look at that real quick. You're getting 50% damage modifiers for the egg and 80% for the electrical fence. So, of course, let's see, did 113 damage. And I attack the wall because the wall is just, it has no defensive modifier, so it just takes full damage, which is, wow, I got a crit, 285. Only 70 for the egg. All right, so just watch and. All right, now the wall is the first one to go. And can you predict which one's going to live longer on this one? Just punching it out here with these bores. I guess it's not too hard considering what the damage modifiers is. Oh well, looks like you see electrical fence lost. And I tried to kill the egg and I couldn't kill it again. The egg is just beast. Look at that, 3 hit points left. It's a crazy egg.